Hi everyone, this is Frank Gray, owner of Abbey Realty and creator of the Aspire Real Estate Sales System. Today I want to talk to you about how to become professionally attractive. And just to set this subject in context, the Aspire Sales System has seven critical building blocks of a highly profitable real estate sales career. Starts with personal branding, moves into lead generation, from there into lead conversion, and so on. Today's class fits in that lead conversion block. In other words, once you identify a prospective buyer or seller, how do you set yourself apart from all other agents and attract them into a working relationship with you? There are many answers to that question. They can't all be addressed in one class, but today we're going to turn that question really to you as a person and how you can develop yourself physically, emotionally, mentally, and otherwise, even down to the vehicle you drive, to present an attractive package, professional package to prospective buyers and sellers, how to become professionally attractive. As we get into it, let's address an issue that may have perplexed you if you've been in this industry very long. What's going on in these situations? Some agents do all the right things, don't get the buyer. Some agents say all the right things and don't get the seller. Other agents seemingly break all the rules and they do just fine. They're making a great living. What's going on here? Because we've checked all the boxes, done all the right things, gone all to the right classes, even prepared the right materials. Why is it that some agents just don't ever seem to get traction in this business, even when they do the right things? My response to that is going to be that it's not so much what you do in this business, it's who is doing it. Some people express this as it's the singer, not the song. And just to make that clear, if Frank Sinatra were to sing My Way, obviously he can't do that any longer, he'll bring down the house. If Frank Gray were to sing My Way, the exact same song, same orchestra, same lyrics, I would clear the house. Nobody would stick around. What is it? Same lyrics, same song. What's the difference? It's the singer. It's the person. It's the who. That who is an sometimes undefinable, intangible, unquantifiable factor that makes the difference between success and failure. Now, if you're talking about singing, it's sometimes pretty obvious. Frank Sinatra had a much greater voice than I do. But what about in real estate sales? What is it about some people that makes them more attractive to buyers and sellers than other agents who seemingly are doing all the right stuff but just can't get anybody to commit to a professional relationship with them? I call that difference the it factor. Some agents have it and some agents don't. Now, in our industry, the it factor is professional attractiveness. Now, just to make that clear, what I'm talking about, it's not the same as personal attractiveness. Yes, it is true, study after study has shown, and this coincides with all of our personal experience, good-looking people always have an advantage. That's true on the dating scene. It's true in the business world. If you are personally attractive, you absolutely have a head start over everybody else. But being personally attractive is not the deciding factor in who gets the sale, who gets the business. And if you question that at all, think about this for a moment. Do you know anybody who looks good in a swimming suit, but you would not trust them with your medical diagnosis, with caring for your children, with financing a home purchase for you, or even repairing your car? When it comes to professional trades and skills and salespersons, buyers and sellers, customers are not so much looking for personal attractiveness. Yeah, that's a nice add-on, but it's not the deciding factor. You don't really care if your doctor is good looking, your lawyer, your mechanic, your babysitter. What you care about is, can they serve your needs at a high level? Do they know what they're doing? And are they committed to doing a good job? And I'll tell you this, it was this quality of the real estate industry that really levels the field for all parties that attracted me to real estate. For many years, I was in regional leadership in a large real estate company. I was the guy handing out trophies on the stage. And year after year, I would see people of all shapes and sizes, men and women, old and young, fat, skinny, in between, all educational levels, all ethnic backgrounds, all walking across the stage getting those top producer trophies. Now, if real estate operated like the corporate world, almost all of those people on the stage would have been, really tall and good looking, or meeting the culturally defined definition of personal attractiveness. That is a deciding factor often in promotions in the corporate world, and I can say that because I worked in the corporate world for a long time. But in real estate, buyers and sellers who are making their own decisions about their own money, and the person that they're going to spend a great deal of time with through this real estate transaction, they are deciding on the basis of professional attractiveness. And personal attractiveness is just a minuscule part of that. And I love that. I love that the real estate industry is so democratic. It's so performance driven. It's so rewarding of those who, regardless of the package they were born with, can develop their skills and their attitude and their confidence and attract people into a working relationship with them, creating wealth for themselves and abundant opportunities for their families. We work in a great industry. So when are you professionally attractive? It's when you convey to others that you are both willing and able to help people with their real estate needs. Willing meaning you care about them, and you're demonstrating that by proactively and consistently offering to help them with their real estate needs. But beyond that, you're not just willing, you're able. You are competent. You have the requisite licensing, training, skills, experience, knowledge, expertise to get the job done, to serve them at a high level. Another way of saying the very same thing is that you are a caring, competent real estate professional. Caring, you're willing to help, you want to help, eager to help, and competent, you are able to help. When you're willing and able, caring and competent, you are professionally attractive. All that's missing at this point from the highest levels of real estate success for you is to consistently send that message to the marketplace, to your sphere of influence, to your demographic farm, to your geographic farm, constantly. And when I say constantly, I mean at least every month with a direct mail piece. But if you follow our sphere marketing campaign, at least 33 times a year through a variety of media, postcards, emails, text messages, client appreciation events, magazines, through numerous ways, you're going to be sending this message. I am a highly competent real estate professional, and I am eager and available to help you with your real estate needs. If you have that willingness and ability, and you get that message out, you market it appropriately, you can write your own ticket in real estate. And it doesn't matter what personal attractiveness package you were born with, you are now professionally attractive. And that is the deciding factor of success in real estate. So bad news, not all of us have the potential to be personally attractive. It's in the DNA. The good news, all of us have the potential to be professionally attractive. It comes from learned skills and intentionally acquired traits. I can learn the skills to make me competent in this business. And intentionally acquired traits may be a little bit more difficult. Maybe that's the willingness part, the caring part. Maybe by personality, you're shy, or you don't want to be considered to be bragging on yourself or putting yourself out there in front of other people. However, success in this business comes from planting seeds, from getting the word out, from letting people know that we're willing to help. And you can acquire that. You can acquire a more cheerful personality, a more positive outlook. You can learn to take the initiative in relationships and introduce yourself. So it's not easy. Again, we're born a certain way with a certain personality. But if you say, doggone it, I'm not going to allow anything stand in the way of my success and funding the priorities that I have for my family and my future, then you can absolutely become professionally attractive. And so to back that up and break that down, I'm going to share with you 7 steps, action you can take right now to become professionally attractive. Here goes. Number 1, improve your physical presentation. And again, I'm not talking about your natural good looks. You either have that or you don't. But whatever we start with, we can certainly improve it. That's how we dress. And I would say dress appropriately for the occasion. I taught this class live yesterday and somebody asked me, well, I work with firefighters. And they're pretty casual. Should I dress down for them or dress up for them? I don't want to act like I'm better than them if I dress up, but I don't want to be unprofessional if I dress down. My answer to her was dress appropriately for the occasion. If you're going to a firefighter's picnic, then you want to dress casually. If you're meeting with a firefighter or a group of firefighters in a professional presentation mode, you're doing a first-time home buyer seminar for them, or you're meeting one-on-one to talk about listing their home, then you want to present yourself in professional attire. Always dress appropriately for the occasion. Dress modestly. Ladies, not skin tight. You don't want to send any mixed messages about your agenda. You can be very personally attractive and not send out wrong messages. And guys, button it up. And I seem to be seeing this more and more. It's not just Simon Cowell who feels like the world wants to see his chest hairs, but I've seen men in real estate recently with their buttons down. Please don't do that. That might be attractive at the club, I don't have any idea, or the beach, but is absolutely not professionally attractive. Pay attention to your appearance head to toes, and that means hair to shoes. Make sure that you are neatly groomed. And guys, that's not just on top of the head, that's the ears, the nose, and everything in between. I heard of a study even when I was a kid that women were attracted to men who had clean shoes. I don't know if that's true or not, but I would say pay attention to every part of your physical presentation. If there's any part that's not giving a professional appearance, then change it, work on it. A positive body smell, and that means lightly cologne or not at all. There's a surprisingly high number of people who are very sensitive to colognes and perfumes. So if you do use them lightly. Not at all is perfectly fine. As long as you're freshly showered and clean, you're going to be great. Wear in-style clothing or timeless fashions. Just don't be buying your clothes off the bargain rack from last season or 5 seasons ago. Just stay relatively up to date and then watch your weight. And I hate even saying that because our weight has nothing to do with our personal character, our willingness or ability to serve other people. But again, we're talking about our professional attractiveness. And some people will extrapolate, well, if you can't control that area of your life, then how are you going to control my marketing and my negotiating and the deadlines? I'm not saying that's a fair extrapolation, but is that the way people think? Absolutely. So in every aspect of your physical presentation, do the best you can with what you got to present yourself professionally. Number 2, drive a professionally attractive vehicle. Now, I love Ford Pintos as much as anybody. In fact, I bought a 78 Ford Pinto medium blue, looked exactly like that one when I was a senior in high school for $29.95. But a 1978 Ford Pinto would not be so attractive in today's real estate market. And believe it or not, buyers and sellers will often select an agent because they're trying to form an opinion about you and figure out who you are. Just like the way you dress conveys a message about who you are, what you drive does. So I'm going to say, Just like you dress appropriate for the occasion, you should drive a vehicle that's appropriate for the clients that you wish to work with. If you're working in the luxury market, you better be driving a luxury car. If you're trying to appeal to the young hipsters, drive a sports car. If you're appealing to the broad band of the market, young families or families with children of any age, then it's okay to drive a minivan, a sedan, an SUV, something of that nature. And of course, if you're a farm and ranch agent, then get you one of those big old honking trucks. Drive appropriate to the people that you are trying to relate to and serve. Whatever you're driving, it should be a relatively late model home, clean and in good condition. Nobody trusts a realtor who drives a junky car. And I speak from my own experience. When I went to work for a large real estate company as a management consultant, I needed to buy a home. So I called two agents from that company. I interviewed them. One of them actually had a better presentation at our kitchen table. He had a laptop computer and was able to show us homes on this newfangled thing called the interwebs. And we were so impressed by that. The second agent came and she didn't even have a laptop. She'd never heard of Al Gore. Her presentation was not nearly as good as the first guy, but you know what? We worked with her. Because when both of them drove up, I spread the blinds from our apartment and looked out, and that first guy who actually had a great presentation, he had a rusty quarter panel on the back of his old car. And you know what went through my mind? If the guy can't afford to buy a decent car, can he really be a good real estate agent? And I'm not saying that's fair. Maybe he was sending all his money to orphans in Africa or supporting a disabled friend. I don't know what he was doing with his money. I'm just being honest and saying people make judgments like that. And if we understand that, we need to be willing to invest in a professional appearance, both in how we dress and what we drive. Number 3, develop a charming personality. Scientists say personality is determined by chemistry, and I don't dispute that at all. But I believe your will, your intentional decisions can change your chemistry. You can change the personality you were born with. And I think there's a lot of scientific evidence to back this up. Study after study has shown that people with a terminal disease diagnosis have often widely varying outcomes. Same diagnosis, same doctor, same treatment plan, but based upon the personality of the patient, whether they have a positive outlook, they're going to overcome this, they're going to make the most of every day, or they're just going to give up and give in. Some of them will die very quickly, and some can even be cured of the disease or live a much longer, fuller life. And the deciding factor is their personality. Now, how can that be when a disease is a physical phenomenon? It's because our minds can change our bodies. Our minds can change our physical chemistry. I absolutely believe that. We're not compartmentalized machines. We are whole persons, mind, body, spirit. And you can change your personality. You can choose to be a happy person. You can choose to smile. You can choose to take the initiative in relationships. And here's a little bit fuller explanation of what I'm talking about. Being charming means being sincerely happy. Happiness is a choice. It doesn't matter what you've been through and who's done you wrong and what kind of difficult child you had. Yes, I have compassion for all those things, but other people have been through far worse things than you have, and they have decided to be happy. Have a positive outlook. Readily make eye contact with other people. And take the initiative in the relationship and introducing yourself, going over and shaking their hand and providing a warm welcome, even if you're not the host of the party or the event. A charming person smiles by default. It's their natural persona. I'm a happy person. I'm cheerful. I'm looking for the best in people. I'm expecting good things to happen in my life. Now, that doesn't mean that you're inappropriately happy in conversations where serious discussions are taking place. When you're talking with a buyer or seller about their needs and wants, perhaps a difficult experience they've had with an agent in the past, you don't want to be grinning like the Cheshire Cat. you want to have a serious look on your face. You want to mirror their tone and their emotion. But your default persona is happy and positive and cheerful. Most importantly, a charming person takes a sincere interest in other people. You are genuinely curious about other people, so you ask a lot of questions and you listen intently to their answers. I'm sure you know this already. The most sparkling conversationalists are those who really don't say anything. They just ask some really important questions about other people, about their life, about their dreams and ambitions, and then they listen. That's what people find attractive. That person cared about me. They didn't just yak, 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 yak all about themselves. That's boring. No, people want to converse with others who are sincerely interested in them. People buy from people they like. So you want people to like you. How do you get them to like you? You take an interest in them. That we don't understand the power of the word curiosity. In fact, if you just need marching orders for today, go out and be intentionally curious. Just ask other people about themselves. You know, how they get into the profession that they're in? How did they choose the person that they're with? Why do they live in this town? It's a free country. They could live anywhere. Just be curious about people and go deep, and people will like you. Happiness is contagious, just like all emotions are. Whatever is coming out of you, is oozing out of you, is going to impact the environment and the people that you're in. So be happy, spread happiness, infect people with that, and you'll find yourself becoming highly charming and professionally attractive. If you want to go deeper on this subject, I'm going to recommend the classic Norman Vincent Peale's, Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People. I've got a yellow tattered copy that I have owned for literally decades. Very, very powerful, and will teach you the basics of becoming a charming person. Number 4, invest in quality marketing materials. And look at the statement that I put in italics on the screen. Your marketing materials are a reflection of what you think about yourself. If your marketing materials, your property flyers, your personal brochures are run off on the office copier, they're black and white or faded out color, that's going to say that you really don't think highly of your strategies. Because if you really loved your marketing materials, you'd have them professionally printed, 4-color, full bleed, heavy cardstock, and you'd be eager to share with that. And people would think, wow, this gal really knows what he or she is doing. They think highly of themselves and their products and their services. I've told sellers for many, many years as part of the listing conversation that I believe the quality of the sign that I put in their front yard is a direct reflection of the quality of the home. If people drive up to the curb and they see an old beat up rusty sign in a wrought iron frame, looks like the panel's been run over by a tractor, they're going to think, man, that house must be pretty gnarly on the inside. It's the same judgment that buyers and sellers are making about you when they see your marketing materials. Well, if they don't really believe in what they're doing and investing in quality materials, they must not think much of themselves and their skills. Therefore, make the investment. Use quality designs, papers, colors, always professionally printed, unless you're just sharing like a CMA, price comparison, showing schedule, that type thing. But if you're demonstrating the materials that you're going to use to sell somebody's home, they need to be professional all the way. Your website should be up to date with a current personal photo, new listings. Your yard signs should be post style. I feel this very strongly. That means the 5-foot, either wooden or aluminum. They should be freshly cleaned and touch-up painted with every installation. When I was actively selling, I had a sign kit in the back of my truck. And I had in there white touch-up paint. I had Windex. I had these little microfiber cloths. And at every installation, man, I would clean and shine that thing. And then when the paint was chipped, I would spray it. I wanted every installation looking like a brand new sign, because I believed what I told my clients. The sign in the yard is a reflection of the quality of the home. And I wanted the quality of my marketing materials in print, online, and in the yard to be a reflection of the quality that I perceived about myself and the services I could provide. Number 5, provide credible evidence of your competence. One of our core beliefs: people will believe and follow what you can logically and tangibly explain. So in your conversations with buyers and sellers, you're going to be sharing with them very confidently your track record of success in helping people in very similar situations. Or if you're a brand new licensee, the experiences you have acquired in life and the specific real estate education that you have acquired, the licensing you have obtained to be able to help them at a high level. But then you need to be able to back that up with tangible evidence. So I always recommend that you bring written or provide electronic evidence of what you're telling them. So evidence of your average days on market being less than the community average, your sale price to list price ratio being so high, perhaps even over 100%. I had an agent tell me yesterday, so far every one of his listings has sold at or above list price. Perhaps the number of months that you're on your office top producer list, some tangible backup. But at the same time that you're presenting all of this evidence of your competence, you want to present it in a humble way, sometimes deferring or even giving credit to other people. And here's just some language around that to help you understand what I mean. You're showing them samples of your marketing materials and they're commenting on how beautiful your photographs are, or you're showing them the Matterport video that you had created on your last listing, and they're like, oh my goodness, I've never seen anything like that. And you say, yes, my photos are the best, or my videos are really unmatched in the industry, but it's because I spend the money to hire the very best photographers. So yes, you've taken credit for delivering a great product, but you have said it's because of the talents of other people or the technologies that you're investing in. Yes, it's true that I sell more homes in this neighborhood than all other realtors combined. I have personal market share in this neighborhood. The trust my neighbors place in me is truly humbling and motivating. So you're taking credit, you're letting them know you're absolutely confident. There is nobody else who can serve their needs at the level that you will. But at the same time, you're not coming across as a braggart. You're acknowledging the contributions of other professionals, your printer, your photographer, your broker, who have helped you along the way. Use third-party reviews and testimonials as evidence of success. I would always include them in your personal brochure. If you're doing a pre-listing package, you should be sending those over. You should have links to video testimonials in your email signature and certainly on your website. People make decisions emotionally, but then they look for logical justification of that decision. It's your professional attractiveness. Like, oh, I really like Jim, I really like Susie, I really want to work with them. So they're emotionally deciding, they're professionally attracted to you, but then they have to have some evidence to justify that decision. That's why you want to provide all these samples and stats and backup materials and reviews so that they can say, oh yeah, it's not just me. I can see that other people agree and other people have had great experiences, logically justifying their emotional decision. Number 6, demonstrate your commitment to the community. There is an element that I don't think it's the most significant element of decision making, but there's a part of every person who wants to do business with other people who are contributing to the community beyond the transaction. People who are giving back, people who have larger concerns than just their financial gain from this specific transaction. Study after study have shown that all other factors being equal, a consumer will choose to do business with a person or a company that has a demonstrated commitment to the community. So in all of your marketing materials, I would encourage you to include photos of your family. Yes, they're part of the community. It's beyond just yourself. And then beyond your family, talk about what you're doing in terms of support of charitable causes in your community, your service to the HOA, perhaps you serve on the school board or the PTA, And absolutely mention every time that from the commissions earned from this transaction, you're going to be making a donation to a charitable cause in the community, and mention that cause. Perhaps even provide a brochure or flyer about that particular charitable cause. Some agents go beyond and say, tell me your favorite charity and I will make a donation to that charity. I would never mention a specific dollar amount. That's not necessary. Just mention that you will be making a donation. Include testimonials and photos in your marketing materials from community leaders about your commitment to the community. So if you're working with the food bank, get the director of the food bank to make a little video testimonial about how they really appreciate your support, and have them say thank you to your clients on the video for working with you, because that enables you to support them. Something of that nature, very, very powerful. And oh, by the way, it also creates an emotional hook that will prevent the sellers, or at least minimize the chance that the sellers will then ask you to discount your commission. Because then you can always come back and say, well, Mr. and Miss Seller, I certainly could do that, but remember that great Matterport video I showed you? I wouldn't have the funding for that. Oh, and I would have to eliminate the contribution that I would be making to our local children's hospital if there's simply no funds available to do that. You don't want to have to go there. The best way to deal with an objection is to never let it arise. And by talking about your commitment to the community and your financial support of causes in the community, you can eliminate some of those objections from ever arising. Number 7, always have your client's best interest at heart. This is such a soft issue. We're not talking about beating up the competition or anything, or wowing them with a dog and pony show presentation. I'm saying, as a human being, really care about your people. You have a fiduciary responsibility through your licensing and through your realtor code of ethics to put your client's interest first. But I'm saying, take it from the paper to the heart. And there's some very specific ways that this can be demonstrated in your professional career. First of all, always tell them the truth. If you don't tell a seller the truth, for example, who wants to overprice their home, some agents do that, and they say, sure, let's do it, let's go for it, knowing that they're going to get buyer prospects, or they're going to use that listing to leverage their market share in the neighborhood. Even if they never sell that home, the agent's going to get some benefit from having that listing. That's not a win-win. That's a win-lose. And win-lose situations always are lose-lose in the end. So always tell them the truth. And if it's an uncomfortable issue that you feel like they could, project onto you and have a negative opinion of you because you told them the truth, then hire somebody to tell them the truth. So if their Beanie Baby collection needs to be put in a box and put away, and you think they'd be offended if you told them, hire a stager to come in and look at the house and write the report, and then it's a neutral third party, and you can say, well, that stager, I've had really good success working with her in the past. We typically sell about 2 weeks earlier than other listings where sellers don't take her advice. If it's a pricing issue, hire an appraiser. Spend $300, $350 to hire an appraiser to give an objective professional price opinion, so that it's not you telling them that their home is worth X when they think it's worth Y. I would also say provide them an easy out cancellation policy. This will actually keep you from getting sued and having TREC complaints filed against you by trying to keep people in an unhappy relationship. But I always tell my clients, this is an agency relationship. As an agent, that means I represent you. I am you to the marketplace, to the cooperating agents, to the other buyers and sellers out there. And if you ever feel like I'm not providing the best possible representation, you just tell me, and we'll cancel this contract and depart as friends, no cost, no obligation. And I'll even put that in the special provisions of the contract if they feel like they need that to feel better. That's a very strong position. It's very professionally attractive when you can say, I'm not just telling you right now that I can get the job done. I'm going to get the job done. And if you ever feel like I'm not, all you have to do is say, time out, let's go a different direction. very strong and highly professionally attractive. Be professionally curious about their needs, wants, and motivations. This speaks to what we talked about a moment ago. Being really curious, asking lots of questions, going deep on them. That's why if you hang out in our classroom very much, you're going to know that I don't like talking about listing presentations, dog and pony shows. I like listing conversations, buyer conversations, where we go in with a list of questions. In fact, I provide to our agents what I call the kitchen table conversation guide. And it's just a one-page list of questions that we ask potential sellers so that we can understand their needs and wants at a deep level. We care about them. We're going to use all of our skills and knowledge to help them achieve their needs. It's not about a commission for us. Yes, we get paid. But if it's us getting paid or us telling them maybe they need to wait a year, we need to put their interest first. Use your expertise to serve their needs, not to maximize their commissions. And then finally, always focus on the relationship, not the sale. A relationship will result in a sale, not just once, but many times over as you get repeat and referral business from these clients year after year after year. So don't be transaction oriented. Oh, I got to get this one, or sale oriented or commission oriented. Be service oriented, relationship oriented, and you will find yourself being professionally attractive and having all the sales and transactions that you need to fund your aspirations. So let's bring it all together. Improve your physical presentation, drive a professionally attractive vehicle, develop a charming personality, invest in quality marketing materials, provide credible evidence of your competence, demonstrate your commitment to the community, and have your clients' best interests at heart. There are many things we can talk about in achieving sales mastery, learning to mimic emotions and words and physical postures, closing strategies and techniques, all those kinds of things. But those are all pointless if you are not first professionally attractive. That's why we've started this Sales Mastery 101 series with learning to be professionally attractive. Let's work on us first, us as a person, and then we can go a little bit deeper on dialogues and emotions and mimicry. Again, my name is Frank Gray, owner of Abbey Realty, creator of the Aspire Real Estate Sales System. If I can ever help you take your career to the next level, please reach out to me. I'd love to help. Let's go there together.